morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. We got football in the air. It's time to play some football. On behalf of the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, Commissioner Gregory Moore, its Council of Presidents, and the institution's athletic directors, welcome to the 2014 SIAC Football Media Day and Luncheon. Today's event is currently streaming live through the SIAC Digital Network, which can be currently accessed through your mobile devices by downloading the app or using your device to log on to the SIAC.com. We're going to talk to coaches, get their insights on the upcoming season, but right now, first, I'd like to introduce the commissioner of the SIAC, Commissioner Moore. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Some quick housekeeping. First thing, Mayor Strange, the Montgomery City Council, for agreeing to host this great event. I also want to acknowledge Ron Simmons, who works with the Montgomery Chamber of Commerce, who hosted my staff and I, and we went on to one of the best site dinners we've had in 5 years in terms of showing us all that Montgomery has to offer. So with that, I'm pleased to announce that the SIAC President's Council voted unanimously last week to move our football championship from Atlanta, Georgia to Montgomery, Alabama. And we should be here for the next 3 years. So let's give Ron and Mayor Strange a hand of applause. I'm going to change. Usually I'm going to break from tradition. Usually I go into a summary of last year's football season, but my conscience has moved me to share some of my thoughts about what's going on in college sports right now. It'll be very brief, but I feel like someone has to say some things that have been unfolding. Right now we are in a time of upheaval in college sports. We have an O'Bannon name and likeness lawsuit that's taking place. In California, we have an antitrust lawsuit that is challenging the practice of putting caps on scholarships. We have an NLRB decision in Illinois that's questioning the very status of and relationship of universities with their student athletes and questioning whether or not they are in fact employers, or universities are employers and student athletes are employees. But 2 weeks ago, NCAA President Mark Emmert, he testified before the Senate Commerce Committee for about 3 hours, discussing all of these issues and speaking to a whole bunch of issues. Next month, there'll be a vote on whether or not the Power 5 conferences, consisting of 65 high investment institutions, whether or not they will form almost a new division that gives them greater autonomy over their affairs. But I participated on a roundtable discussion, an HBC roundtable discussion last week, hosted by Bernard Franklin, Executive Vice President of NCAA. And one of the comments in the room was that there's been no discussion about black colleges. During President Emmert's 3-hour discussion in Congress, no mention of historically black colleges and the impact that all these reforms and seismic changes may have on historically black colleges. And I got to tell you, I'm troubled by that. For a couple of reasons. First and foremost, folks talk about diversity, and people profess to believe in diversity. No one has mentioned in the context of all these discussions that historically black colleges and universities remains the single most important repository of diversity in intercollegiate athletics. That's a fact. Even though we make up only 5% of the NCAA's over 1,100 members, we provide 40% of the head coaches, football coaches. Even though we make up only 5% of the member institutions, we provide 50% of the athletic directors. Even though we make up only 5% of the member institutions, we provide almost 90% of the commissioners. And I suspect that if you did an examination of all the different administrators, from trainers to SWAs, women's basketball coaches, etc., you'll find that historically black college provides the lion's share of diversity in college sports. So it's critically important to, in my view, that if you believe in diversity, which everyone professes to believe in, then you have to believe in protecting and exploring what all these changes, how they will impact historically black colleges and universities. So again, I just think these are things that we need to talk about, and there's some cost-neutral steps that can be taken. The NCAA passed a APR exists at Division I. There's been discussion about it coming to Division II in terms of graduation rates. Black colleges were sanctioned more than any other group of colleges. But to Dr. Franklin's credit, he pushed for and received a special pilot program that set aside about $4 million that gives about $300,000 a year to 6 HBCUs at the Division I level to help them with their academic support. The program works. Tennessee State, Jackson State, they've moved all of their school programs. None of them are facing APR sanctions today. So that proves that APR and some of the graduation struggles that some of our schools have struggled with, it's a resource issue, simple. So my thinking is that program should be made permanent. It should not be a pilot program. It should be a permanent program, and it should be expanded. Secondly, another cost-neutral thing, proposal. Many of the Power 5 conferences, some of them share footprints with our conferences. There should be some, to the degree that we are the single biggest repository of diversity in NCAA college sports, there should be some cost-neutral mentoring, best practices sharing that takes place amongst the conferences where we share a footprint. There's already some informal cross-pollination taking place. Tony Green, who's currently an SEC official, recognized widely as one of the best officials in the country, who officiated 2 years ago the Final Four, he got a start in the SIAC. He's currently the SIAC supervisor officials. Leon Douglas, an All-American basketball player, I think number 4, number 5 pick in the NBA draft, he got at Alabama, got to start coaching at Stillman College. E.J. Jr., a top 4 pick in the '81 NFL draft, another All-American from Alabama, he got to start in the SIAC. So there's talent flows both ways. My suggestion is that we institutionalize it and make it a formal program where Division I power conferences are helping and nurturing some of the HBCU conferences. I believe the gap between the haves and have-nots is growing to the point where it's becoming alarming. When you have the average payout at a Power 5 conference school exceeds by 50% the top line revenue of all the HBCU conferences combined, that's a problem. I'll repeat that. When the average payout to an individual member school at the Big Ten, the SEC, the ACC, the Pac-12, when the individual payout is larger than the total revenue of all the HBCU conferences combined, that's a problem. That should be discussed. No one's talking about it. So, my thinking is that as these things unfold, and these issues unfold, and the court cases unfold, hopefully, we have a greater voice with respect to whatever impact, these reforms will have on our schools. Because, when you look at what our schools are doing today, poverty increased from 13% to 15% from 2000 to 2010. 64% of that increase occurred in the South, which is where our schools are. And what are our schools doing? They're providing jobs and educational opportunities, which just happen to be the 2 biggest combatants of poverty in the country. So I would just remind, our big brothers at the high investment institutions that we're here. We're more important than we've ever been. Our coaches and our athletic directors and all of our stakeholders do a phenomenal job of neutering and nurturing and young leaders and scholar athletes, and hopefully hopefully at some point that's the thought leaders in college athletics appreciate that fact, and we can begin to have a greater role in some of these reforms that are taking place. So with that, we're going to get on to more fun business. And Ryan, thank you for hosting once again our conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Moore. Right now, we're going to proceed with the program, and we're going to talk with or have Mr. Ron Simmons with the Montgomery Convention and Visitor Bureau come up and say a couple of words. Mr. Simmons.
Thought I'd get a little jog in, Coach. Is that any scholarships ready for me? Eligibility is up. Don't worry about it. Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to welcome everybody to Montgomery, Alabama. On behalf of our Mayor, Todd Strange, the City Council, the County Commission, and the Chairman, Elton Dean, our President, Randy George, for the Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce, and our Vice President for the Convention and Visitor Bureau, Don Hathcock. Don, if you raise your hand. I want to welcome everyone to Montgomery, Alabama, known as the capital of dreams. So many of you had an opportunity to hear the mayor this morning. But first of all, we've been working with the commissioner, with Commissioner Moore and the SIAC staff for quite a while to bring this event here. And we're excited to have all of you here. Now, we have all of the participating schools and coaches here. And we hope to have, we really have all of you back. But unfortunately, we can only have 2 of you for participating in the game in November. But we have this contract for 3 years. So hopefully we'll have more of you back in days to come. And hopefully that will become a tradition and it will continue to grow. So we're happy to have all of you here today. We want to make sure that you learn more and more about Montgomery. This is a very historical city. I'm not going to go through all the things that you can do here in terms of the history. Many of you know about Rosa Parks and Martin Luther King and the history here, but there are also some pretty cool things to do. So we branded this Capital Cool. If you haven't had an opportunity to go downtown and experience the entertainment district, you're missing a treat. To go down and you go down Commerce Street and you're able to experience the nightlife and the fun. A lot of things right there. The hotels are right around. Everything is walkable. All of the attractions and the museums they're walkable. You can take a trolley for $3 and go to all of the attractions in the downtown area all day. There's a lot of entertainment for the children as well. There's live music 7 days a week. So you didn't come to a boring place. There is a reason that the commissioner brought the event here. But not only that, you're going to be playing in a state-of-the-art facility. They're finishing up the touches right now on the facility in terms of putting down new turf. Same turf they play on in the NFL. So you're experiencing some really good things here. You're in the central of the state of Alabama. So easy access. I don't care if you're coming from Ohio or if you're coming from Atlanta. It's very easy to get to. We have a great staff here at the Chamber of Commerce. We have a group of them over at the table right now, and we're more than happy to accommodate you in any way possible. So if there's anything we can do to make your stay more enjoyable, please let us know. And again, welcome to Montgomery, and we're so happy to work with the SIAC. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. And at this time, we would like to formally introduce today's guests, the league's head coaches, as you see behind me, starting from here with the West Division. From Wilberforce, Ohio, Central State University Marauders head coach Cedric Pearl. From the capital of the Bluegrass State, Frankfort, Kentucky State University Thoroughbreds head coach Josh Dean. Joining us from Jackson, Tennessee, Lane College Dragons interim head coach Malik Hoskins. And right here in Alabama, from the Birmingham metropolitan area and the winners of last year's West Division, Miles College, Golden Bears head coach Reginald Ruffin. And right down Interstate 20, 59 in Tuscaloosa, Stillman College, Tigers head coach Tedrick Keaton. And in nearby historic Tuskegee, Alabama, the city is in its name, Tuskegee University Golden Tigers head coach Willie Slater. Introducing the head coaches of the East Division, joining us from Albany, Georgia, defending champion, winners of the Centennial Crown, Albany State University, the Golden Rams, its head coach James Mike White. And from the capital of the Palmetto State, my state, South Carolina, Columbia, Benedict College head coach James Moody. James Woody, I'm sorry. Here with us from the capital city of Georgia, Atlanta Clark Atlanta University, Panthers head coach Kevin Weston. And just an hour from there, a pillar of the city of Fort Valley, Georgia, Fort Valley State, Wildcats head coach Donald Pittman. And heading back up Interstate 75 from Atlanta, Morehouse College, the Maroon Tigers head coach Rich Freeman. Ladies and gentlemen, a historic moment in HBCU football, returning to the gridiron after more than 50 years. Payne College Lions head coach Greg Ruffin. Coaches, welcome to the Football Media Day for the SIAC. It's an exciting event that sparks the upcoming season, and we are delighted to have you. Football season is right around the corner, and it's sparked by the fans, alumni, and the bands. But most importantly, the predicted order of finish and the student athletes to watch for. At this time, the SIC formally announces its predicted order of finish. Out of the West and selected to capture the division with 23 total points and 3 first-place votes, Tuskegee University. Second, Miles College with 21 points and 2 first-place votes. Third, Stillman College with 17 points and a vote for first, followed by Kentucky State, Lane, and Central State. For the East Division, predicted victors, Albany State University, receiving 20 points, total from the first place votes. Finishing second, Fort Valley State with 17 points. All right. And a first place vote. Third, Benedict with 12 points, with Morehouse, Clark Atlanta, and Payne rounding out the division. For our overall champion selection, predicted to win the SIAC title, Albany State with 111 points, including 3 first-place votes, are your predicted champions. The list includes, in order, Tuskegee, Miles, Fort Valley, Stillman, Kentucky State, Benedict, Morehouse, Clark Atlanta, Lane, Central State, and Payne. Now introducing your preseason players of the year for the offense, Frank Rivers of Albany State, and on the defensive side, Jelante English of Miles College. Last season, Rivers led Albany State to its second SIAC crown in 4 years, throwing for more than 2,000 yards and 19 touchdowns. English collected 90 tackles, including 45 solo and 4.5 for a loss. In your preseason all SIAC football teams, the first team is highlighted on the screen. And now for the second team, the preseason teams were voted on by the SIAC football's head coaches. Returning players from the 2013 postseason teams received an automatic selection. Players from the second team in 2013 were elevated to the first team as a result of last year's voting in the position vacancies. 8 positions were voted on, including quarterback, wide receiver, return specialist, punter, offensive line, defensive line, and linebacker. 1 player landed on the first team, with 14 players voted on this year's preseason squads. At this time, we will hear from our head coaches. I'm going to start to my left and basically get a brief synopsis, a little commentary from each coach. Let's start with Wilberforce, Ohio's Central State University's head coach, Cedric Pearl. Coach, it's your second year in the conference. You're a coach from Alabama A&M. What does it feel like going into your second year in this conference and having football back in such a big way at Central State?
Well, it's an exciting time to be in the SIAC right now, and especially for me, too, to come back to the SIAC. This is why I started as a player and as a coach. My career started at Tuskegee as a coach, but as far as Central State, we're excited to be in the conference. We'll be playing 3 great classics this year versus 2 of our conference schools, Kentucky State and also Morehouse. But as well, we'll be playing Texas Southern in Nassau too. But it's just an exciting time, and we look forward to the challenges and getting ready to compete.
Head coach Cedric Pearl. Next, the head coach of the Kentucky State Thoroughbreds, head coach Josh Dean. Coach Dean, everyone knows that last year you came to the season with the interim tag. That tag has been removed. What's that mean for you as far as your team, the respect factor, I guess, and going forward with this program this coming year?
It just means consistency. I think that's the key to success in anything you do is trying to be consistent. We have a few players returning that had success, Jacquees Lockett, Terry Horton, and Chad Reeves, who are here today. And, we're just trying to continue off the success we had last year. We went 5-5, and we want to improve. But the best thing is that we learned how to compete, and one of the keys to knowledge and to learn is to have experience. And I think that our team has that now. So
head coach of Kentucky State, Josh Dean. Next up, the head coach of the Lane College Dragons, conversely, Malik Hoskins. Conversely from Josh, Malik, what is it? Talk about the feel that you have going into the season with that interim tag on your title.
It's no big deal. I mean, I'm the head coach of the guys. I'm familiar with all the guys. This is going to my 7th season at Lane College. Past 3 seasons as offensive coordinator. So nothing has changed. We won't change anything that we do. The only thing we want to change other than our record is just learning how to finish. Like I said, everybody from the city to, basically in the surrounding areas, they know who I am. So it's just we're going to continue to move forward.
Appreciate it. There he is, Malik Hoskins, head coach of the Lane College Dragons. Next, from the Birmingham metropolitan area, last year's winner of the West Division, Miles College Golden Bears head coach Reginald Ruffin. Coach Ruffin, how does it feel winning the division, going to the conference championship, falling a little bit short, but how do you go into the season knowing that last year you guys had great success?
Well, last year was an unbelievable year for us from the beginning, losing so many guys to injury, and then bouncing back and fighting through and getting to the championship game, playing a great team in Stillman to actually get a chance to play in the Western Division Championship, and then playing Tuskegee. It didn't get to Albany State. You can't. Albany State has been the team to beat for a while, and I thought it was a great game. I thought our kids played hard. And our hats went off to Albany State. But, it's been a tough offseason. Our kids are really not winning the championship. That kind of derails a lot of things. But the thing is, you can't let that team beat you twice, which means you got to put that behind you and move forward. So we're excited about this upcoming year. We got a lot of guys coming back. This is our senior class, guys that actually started my first year as head coach there as freshmen, and now they're seniors. So this is that senior group, and so we're excited, and we just got to put one foot forward and give an opportunity to play a good football game this year.
Talk about that championship game. I mean, losing in dramatic fashion. We all know what happened. How do you bounce back from that? What do you say to your kids?
Well, you take Albany State. That game was back and forth from start to finish, and everybody was in their seats, and the ball could have bounced here or there, for either team. Just so happened, Coach White had that rabbit foot in his pocket, and the ball bounced his way. So we just got to get up and put that behind us, and move forward. We can't let that team beat us twice. So it's no excuses. That's our motto: bear down, no excuses. And do your job. 17-14.
Miles College Bears head coach Reginald Ruffin. And Stillman College head coach Tedrick Keaton. You got your quarterback back from last year. Was tearing the league up early. Got injured, and we're talking about Josh. Talk a little bit about coming into the season and having your guy back.
It's always exciting to have your guy back, but I believe in all of my players regardless of who play in the position. We try to not to focus on individuals. We focus on the team effort. This year we done a great job for the last 3 years. We've had 3 straight winning seasons there. I don't know the last time Stillman's had that. We were 2 points away from being 8 wins this year. I think the conference has gotten so strong that every week you got to come prepared to play football. I agree. We got to learn how to finish. I think Josh is a great, tremendous quarterback, and I think if he comes back as well as he's been playing, he'll burn up just like he's been doing. I believe in him all the way.
There he is, head coach of Stillman College, head coach Tedrick Keaton. Coach Willie Slater, the head coach of the Tuskegee Tigers. Tuskegee's in the business of winning championships. I'm sure everybody is, but Tuskegee definitely is. You guys had a great record last year, 8-2, but fell a little short. Miles College in dramatic fashion as well. What do you say to your kids coming to the season, and what are the expectations?
Well, Tuskegee, of course, the expectations are always high. So, but talking to our players, we didn't end up like we wanted to end last year. We started off with a really tough schedule, six games on the road at the beginning of the year, and I just thought it took its tolls on us there at the end. But not taking anything away from the teams that we played, Coach Ruffin and his group did a great job against us. And then, of course, we got to play back up at my school that I coached at for several years, University of North Alabama. We ended up losing by 3, but we ended up losing, and that's not a good feeling. But I'm excited about this team. I think we have a group of young men that really has worked their tails off in all season, and they feel like they're going to have a good team. So if they feel like we're going to have a good team, then I think we'll be okay.
Willie Slater from Tuskegee. The Golden Rams head coach, James Mike White, they actually won the conference last year. Coach, I guess, you know, I always hear coaches that won championship talk about their teams losing focus. Is that going to be the main objective, to make sure you guys don't lose focus?
I don't think so. I thought last year we just did it. I thought we maxed out. I thought we played well early in the season, but played some good football, but just couldn't finish in the fourth quarter. And I thought we put it together right there at the right time and finished the last 5 games on a really, really strong winning streak that kind of carried us into the offseason. So I think losing focus won't be a problem for the Rams.
Appreciate it. James White, Albany State. Now, Coach James Woody from Benedict College in South Carolina is your third-year coach. How do you take Benedict football to the next level?
Well, right now, we're trying to get there, and I think it's going very well. Going into the third year, the last 2 years, it's been like a learning experience for us, a growth period. Right now, we feel real good about where we're at right now with some recruiting. Got a lot of young guys coming back and got some continuity there. So hopefully we can put it all together and try to finish this season.
There he is, head coach James Woody of the Benedict College Tigers. And from Atlanta, Georgia, the Panthers head coach Kevin Weston. Coach, you don't pass a lot. You've got a very young team. Montarius Taylor's coming back this year. Is that what you're going to build your offense around and his strengths?
We're going to build it off of just being good at all 3 phases, but we're definitely going to be offensively make the main thing we'd be able to do as our backbone of our offense is be able to run the football.
Appreciate it. Head coach Kevin Weston from Clark, Atlanta. Wildcats head coach Donald Pittman. Not a normal thing for you guys last year for Fort Valley State. Tough season. How do you right the wrongs and get everything going in the right direction, Coach?
Yes, we was 4-6 last season, and we was very disappointed. But we do have a very good defense like we did last year. We have 3 impact players returning on defense, and we have LaRon Furr, Bernard Little, and Kelsey Lewis. They'll be the ones we build around. But we will have a strong defense. The weak point about our team is the offense has been that way 3 years. We haven't had a good offensive line. We have 2 good offensive linemen returning, and we added about 5 more, so hopefully we'll be better up front. This is the first time since I've been at Fort Valley State, but the second time that we had a quarterback that actually played in the spring, Malcolm Eady. So we're expecting a lot out of our team. We should finish strong. We anticipate finishing strong.
Pittman, Fort Valley State. Morehouse College head coach Rich Freeman in his 8th year. Coach, you're one of the most tenured coaches in the conference, and the most tenured coach in the conference, except for Coach White, second most tenured coach in the conference. Talk about last year's season and the imprint that you have with the team being there so long, and what you're trying to implement to also take your team to the next level.
Well, one of the things that we've been successful with, myself and some of my colleagues that I trained under for 10 years, has been going to programs that were in shambles or not having success and then getting them turned around. And we've been very successful over the years at doing so. And this is unfamiliar territory for myself because I would be trying to turn around something that we as a coaching staff were responsible for. So it's definitely going to be a challenge for us, but we're looking forward to meeting it head on, and happy to be here in Montgomery, a place where I worked for about 4 years, and happy to have Shelton Hamilton that's going to be one of the guys that's going to help us in that effort. 2 years ago, he had to deal with one ACL tear and an MCL tear, and then last year he had to deal with both scares. So we're finished with the tear and the scare last year, looking for him to have a breakout season and carry this football team and get it back to prominence.
Morehouse College. And last, we talked about it a little bit earlier, Payne College head coach Greg Ruffin. First year in the conference. You guys played club football last year in preparation. First year playing on the field. Talk about the excitement around the program and guys ready to mix it up and call it real.
Well, we're feeling pretty good about it. Last year, of course, we're not in the 13th grade anymore, so we get to play football with the rest of these guys. And, we just, it's one way to go but up, is we're picked last, and we understand that, but we just want people to know that, when you come to Augusta, we do more than golf there. So we got some guys that's ready to play football. We won't be your average first-year program. We got some older kids on our football team, and we're gonna be ready to play when we hit the field.
Appreciate it. There he is, Coach Ruffin of Payne College. Returning players from the 2013 postseason teams received an automatic selection. Players from the second team in 2013 were elevated to first team as a result of last year's voting and the postseason vacancies. Coaches, we thank you for sharing your season outlook. As we know, the football championship is right here in Montgomery at the historic Crampton Bowl. Here's a preview of what to expect the SIAC championship on November 15th at Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. See you there.
And this punt is blocked.
This season, rise to the moment. Commit to the program. This is what you've been waiting
30,
for.
20, has one man to beat. Touchdown!
All senses sharpened. All records will be shattered. A clash of titans. Failure is not an option. This year, we'll rewrite history.
All right. All right, that concludes the stage session of Football Media Day. I'd like to take this time to thank the Doubletree by Hilton, the City of Montgomery, Mayor Todd Strange, and the Montgomery Area Chamber of Commerce and Visitors Bureau. As you know, we're going to talk to other folks, the coaches in the back rooms, and have personal interviews. We'll also have some time where you can talk and have questions with those coaches. So once again, thank you, and more to come when we return.